What's up, and welcome to a new week of the opening line right here. YouTube Guru Elite, Fantasy Guru Elite YouTube. Corey, the fantasy executive, my main man, Benny. Benny, got down there in the new digs. How's it going? Congratulations.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, as you can see right now, it's a little dark in here because we haven't had the lamps delivered yet. We also haven't had the couch delivered yet. So basically, I'm just sitting on what is going to be the little chair that goes out on the deck right now. So I got to figure out the lighting right here right now. It kind of feels like I'm sitting in the dark.
Nice. It's coming along. It looks good. How'd the weekend go? How'd y'all enjoy the first weekend in the crib?
Oh, it was cool. I mean, the kids came over. My in-laws brought them down on Saturday. We closed on Friday. My in-laws came down Saturday. They were watching the kids for us so we could get everything done. Kids spent all day in the pool. You know, we got a grill, so we grilled outside and, had some food. So it was cool. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a fun time down here. So
when you bought the crib, because, my I guess ex-in-laws, I remember I would spend, it seemed like every other week I was out there cleaning that pool and getting that pool ready for the next event. The pool was actually ready to go when y'all got there?
No, the pool, we came down on Friday, and the pool, I needed to clean it. I had the shock. It was open already. Because the people who were living here lived here up until Thursday.
Oh.
They were like us. They had kids. So their kids got out of school. Most of New Jersey schools got out this week.
Yeah.
So their kids got done Thursday, same day my kids got done. So they literally packed all their stuff up, but they were living here up till then. So, I mean, they were in the pool last week, you know what I mean? So all I really had to do was I shocked it with chlorine to kind of, make sure everything was clean. And then the next day it was good to go. Because it's been open for 2 months or whenever they opened it.
I spent many summer afternoons shocking a pool, and it's not the fun thing to do.
I had to shock it. I had to get you get that that vacuum thing at the bottom. So I vacuumed it all out so this way the kids could go in when they got down.
Now, you know what? It's funny because I remember every other weekend we was doing something or having something, and I was shocking in the pool for a party for people that really didn't like me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, y'all are coming here. I'm doing all of this work, and y'all really – I know it was shocking or cleaning the pool for my party. You know what I'm saying? It was always somebody else's. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's like my wife's like, oh, we're going to have everybody over. We'll have your family one weekend, my family next weekend. I said, listen, here's the deal. I'm here for the whole week getting stuff ready, and I'll be here every week of the summer. I said, if anybody needs me, they know where to find me. They're always welcome. They could all come over. I said, so far we only got a couple beds, so everybody can't stay, but everybody's welcome to come over and hang out anytime they want. But I was like, but don't put me in the middle of having a party or anything. I said, I'm going to go to Costco if a bunch of people show up and buy a whole bunch of meat and just go put it on the grill and then hang out in the pool, and we could just eat hamburgers and steak and chicken all day, and that's fine. I said, that's the extent of, this is my house to relax in. So that's the extent of work I'm willing to do.
How far are you from the beach?
It's about 2 miles. We're a little bit further away from the beach, which is why we were able to get the house for such a good price. My parents have a place not far from here that's right on the beach. So anytime we want to go to the beach, we just go crash at their place.
All right, so there you go right there. Sounds good. Everything rocking and rolling. Man, Russell Clay held it down for you on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Football with him, talk some good stuff. Might do a little football today. Ask you a couple questions about some things that's going on. But how did you what did you think of the NBA draft on Thursday night?
Yeah, I mean, when you get a chance to talk about it, went pretty much according to plan. I mean, first 3 picks were the first 3 we thought. The 3 guys I said were going to go 4, 5, 6. I said the order might be a little messed up. It went Hunter, Garland, and then Culver, not Culver, Hunter, Garland. But either way, I mean, that was the way that everything kind of worked out. I think everything went pretty much the way everybody expected. I don't think anybody got any big steals. The one thing that was a little surprising was seeing Bol drop as far as he did.
Yeah.
People must really be concerned about his
I feel like he might have an off the court thing too.
What was the off the court thing? I didn't hear.
I don't know what it is, but people kept making mention of an off the court thing. I'll have to look into that. My thing is, if you're 7'2", you shouldn't get into no trouble off the court because it's easy to find you.
Yeah, you stand out in the crowd. Yeah, you're 7'2", you're going to stand out in the crowd. My whole thing is, I mean, listen, there aren't that many guys that are that tall to begin with. And the thing is, he's also skilled and athletic. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's a really rare combination to find. Now, again.
Must be terrible.
He's built like a stick. So, I mean, you could see he's going to take a pounding in the NBA. and might not be able to hold up for it. But his skill set to me is one lot better than a mid-second round pick.
Yeah, you also see the big man Taco Fall. You know what I'm saying? Also, basically, go very late. And as a matter of fact, Taco Fall was not drafted, but I think he did end up on the roster of the Boston Celtics. So that's how the NBA draft went. Zion, Ja, and RJ, everybody went down. Everybody had a good time. They are already reported to their new teams, and it's time to rock and roll. Speaking of new teams, we're hearing reports that Kawhi Leonard is not going to have a new team. It looks like Masai Ujiri, the city of Toronto, that championship, they've done enough to convince Kawhi Leonard, Benny, to at least for next season, he may do a 1-1, but at least for next season to stay in Toronto.
Well, yeah, I mean, he opted out of his deal over the weekend, so a lot of people thought that meant, all right, he's leaving Toronto.
Well, everybody opts out, yep.
Yeah, it just meant he was opting out of, I think it was like a $23 million deal. Now, we've talked about it with a whole bunch of other guys who've been opting out too. The economics of the NBA has changed. So just because he opted out because he's going to get more money. He didn't opt out because he was like, oh, yeah, whatever. Like, it was a one-year deal. He's going to wind up getting a bigger deal or, getting a longer-term deal where it's more money in his pocket. So I don't think it's that big a deal. I'm still not convinced, Corey. I mean, again,
really?
The whole Kawhi drama of the last 2 years has been because he wanted to be a free agent and choose where he wanted to go and all that. I mean, again, they did just win, so maybe Toronto is a little bit more up there, but I don't know. I feel like he's had a plan the entire time, and I don't feel like that plan was Toronto. So we'll see what happens.
No, I agree. See, one thing about it is Toronto is kind of a place where you can do something like this because at first it's like, oh, like I was talking to my son. He was this week. He was like, well, who wants to go to Toronto? I was like, let me tell you something.
Toronto's fun, man.
When you get up there, you'll understand why you want to go to Toronto. And I think that could be something that obviously the championship, you know what I'm saying? The organization is well run. You know what I mean? The way the city responded to him. I think that he got up there and was like, you know what? This ain't bad. And they got a good basketball team.
Well, I think that the last thing you said, I think is the key is like, this is a good team.
Yeah.
Like if he sticks around, he knows like there are other players on this team. Like you guys can make a run. You got a young Pascal Siakam getting better. They got a deep bench of good players. I mean, OG Anunoby is a solid player, and he didn't even play the entire playoff run. Like this is a very good team.
No doubt. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we got a week to go before all of that stuff will take place. So it'll be a very interesting week of rumors and Woj bombs. We got it all covered right here on the opening line. Right quick, Benny, the Raptors win total for 2019 right now, 52.5.
That's a good number with Kawhi. It's a bad number without him. So really what you're banking on is Kawhi resigning. Is there any juice on it?
Nah, it's no juice on it. It's both minus 110.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically standard. I would not take that chance right now. I don't want to take chances on teams that have major pieces of them that are free agents that we don't know if they're going to re-sign or not. There's enough teams if you want to start taking some totals. There's enough teams that you already know. Like, I'd be more willing to take a New Orleans total right now because at least you know the nucleus of that team is kind of set.
New Orleans, speaking of which, 35.5 right now.
I'd go over.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't think they're going to win a ton of games, but 35.5 is not that hard to do.
Okay.
Like, you're not even a 500 team if you get 35 wins. You're like a 450 win percentage. I mean, again, they added more than just Zion. They got all those guys from the Lakers. Not that the Lakers were ever a very good team or anything like that, but they played the whole end of that season without Anthony Davis anyway, who's really the one big player that they're losing. Well, and Drew Holiday, who also is supposedly leaving in free agency. But, I mean, they brought in a bunch of guys that are pretty good players, and they do still have money to spend. So they may end up getting somebody to come down there as well.
The Bucks, 55.5. Your Bucks, Benny.
You know what? I'll parlay the money I won off their win total last year on them again. I really like that team.
All right, cool. The Lakers, 54.5.
I'm not touching the Lakers. I wouldn't play the under, but I'm not touching the Lakers because the Lakers getting 55 wins relies on Anthony Davis staying healthy and a 37, 38-year-old LeBron James staying healthy. Okay. That's kind of asking a lot.
LeBron that old?
I didn't think I was that much older than him. I thought he was about 2 years younger than me, no?
LeBron's going into his 36th year.
36? All right, 36. Either way, 36 ain't young for a professional player who's been playing since he was 18.
LeBron James, since he was 16 years old, Benny.
That's what he's been in the NBA for then 18 years. If he's 36, he came in the NBA at 18, right? So, I mean, he's only 36, but you got 18 years of NBA wear and tear in that body. That's not a young guy anymore.
Houston Rockets, 52.5.
I've not. Again, these are
no.
The game. What you want to try to do if you're taking totals right now is avoid the unknown. Like we don't know if Chris Paul's still going to be. We don't know if Clint Capella's going to be there. I mean, you have James Harden, so you're not going to suck. But who's going to be playing with him?
The Golden State Warriors, 46.5.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm over on that one.
That right there is very low. I just told my homeboy the other night the Warriors will win 50 games next year. And he was like, he doesn't think so. And I'm like, no, they'll win 50 games.
Listen, they made it to the NBA Finals without Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So and they won it and had a 70-win season without Kevin Durant beforehand. And those guys are only basically coming into their prime, Steph. And these guys aren't over the hill, Steph, Clay, Draymond. They were young when they did that. They're in their prime right now. I don't see how people are this down on Golden State.
Amazing to me. You won't see Clay until after the All-Star break probably. But still, the Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, DeMarcus Cousins, you know what I'm saying? Still be able to put the pieces together. Steve Kerr, we're not a Steve Kerr guy, but, I think he's a good head coach, and he'll be able to get them ready. Interesting one right here, the Dallas Mavericks. Can you guess the number?
It's going to be high, 45?
41.5.
Yeah, I'm over. You
think it works out, huh? You think it all comes together?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got Luka, you got Kristaps Porzingis. Listen, basketball, there's only 5 guys on the floor at a time. If you got talented players, you're going to be pretty good. You may not win a championship. They're still young. They still got guys that need to gel together, but they have talented basketball players on that team.
Final one I want to throw off to you, Benny, right quick. The Atlanta Hawks, 32.5.
Man, they got better. They're still young, though. I don't know. Dude, I still think they're going to be bad. I don't think they're going to be a 40-win team, although they play in the East, which might make it a little easier.
Yeah. You think they can get to 33 wins?
I'm going to be honest. I feel like they end around there, Corey. That's why I think it's a good number. So I wouldn't take it either way.
No doubt. I feel you. Next year, this time, the Atlanta Hawks, because of some of the moves they've made over the weekend, will have 2 max salary slots and a team full of players on rookie deals.
2 max salary slots with Trae Young, Collins, Hunter, Reddish. You know what? That's why Kawhi wants to sign a 1-year deal. He knows what's up. He'll be in Atlanta next year hanging out with Luda.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine that? I don't know if Kawhi Leonard has the,
Yeah, it's not Kawhi's style.
That may not be Kawhi's speed right there. You know what I'm saying? So definitely basketball talk will continue. But next week we have we'll have the Summer League kicks off.
Mm-hmm. Summer League kicks off and free agency opens. So it's the good thing, the NBA is trying to be like the NFL, right? The NFL spaces out all their events in the offseason so that they're always in the newspaper. The NFL the NBA finally got smart about it too, where we're actually talking about the NBA draft and free agency and all this stuff in the offseason. So marketing department for the NBA, they deserve a raise there.
Yeah, and that's where that's actually where Adam Silver came from. That's where Adam Silver was introduced to working in the NBA. I think some 20 years ago. That was one of his main responsibilities was the growth of the game through marketing. And Adam Silver, you see the great job he's doing right now. Before we head over to that, Benny, talk a little NFL. But really, the thing in football that's kind of drawing the most interest right now, especially for what we do in fantasy. O.J. Simpson is one of us, Benny.
I knew you were going to talk about this. If you guys haven't been over there yet, you got to go to O.J.'s Twitter page, and you got to not even his comments, but you got to read the comments about the things that he tweets about. So there's one where he tweeted out about he had Pat Mahomes ranked as his number 1 overall player, and but he was thinking about with Tyreek Hill's situation, maybe going Baker Mayfield. And that's all good and well, whatever the fantasy advice, you take fantasy advice from OJ, you get what you paid for.
No doubt.
But the replies to what he said are hilarious, man. And there's this one guy, I don't remember his name, but you'll see it because it's one of the tweets right at the top, and it has so many likes on it, where he was basically like, yeah, I really think you should draft Baker Mayfield. Like, taking a stab on a Brown is something you do. I was like, oh, my God. The replies to what he wrote are hilarious.
Oh, man, O.J. Simpson. It's just like he just doesn't go away quietly, Benny. You know what I'm saying? This is something that you may not know. Most people probably don't know this. And I don't know how they got direct. I don't know how they was able to figure this out. But I had heard this about 5 or 6 years ago. O.J. Simpson is the most photographed person ever.
That's crazy.
I don't know how they came up with that, but I read that O.J. Simpson was the most photographed person ever.
But he was like one of the first guys, he's done sports. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. Then he was an NFL superstar. So he was getting photographed in college. He was getting photographed then. When his NFL career ended, not only was he on TV, but he was also in movies. You remember, like, Naked Gun? Like, he was in all the Naked Gun movies, and those were huge, like, in the 80s and 90s. So he was in all the Naked Gun movies. And then, obviously, you had the whole, him, if I did kill my wife thing and all that stuff. Obviously, he was innocent because he got off on it, of course. But you know what I'm saying? The whole yeah. And then he went to jail. He came out of jail. He, like, robbed some guy on the Las Vegas Strip. Like, dude, OJ knows how – OJ – the only person better at keeping his name in the newspaper than OJ is Donald Trump. Like, he's to that level, man. He's another level when it comes to marketing himself.
No doubt. So Simpson is on Twitter. I'm interested to see – there's got to be – put it like this, Benny. Like we always say, you follow the money. He's not just doing this freely. Is somebody behind this? Is somebody driving this? I'm curious to see what the situation is going to be and who is funding O.J. Simpson as a fantasy analyst. So shout outs to O.J. Listen, it's that time of year. O.J. better start writing some articles because that content going to be due in 2 weeks from now, brother.
It's already due. What are you talking about 2 weeks from now? We're already banging it off over here.
No doubt about it. FantasyGuru.com already up and rolling. Shout out to Russell Clay, the homie, holding it down for Benny last week. Of course, my man Jeff Mans and the boys will be in the New York City area this week. So I'm quite sure I'll probably see you at some time on Thursday if you're back up this way by then, Benny, as getting ready for the FSGA draft coming up this weekend. Kind of a welcome to fantasy football for the season. A little bit of soccer going on also. Before we get to that, though, Benny, I was curious, what was your opinion on Molly Qerim, the first take situation with LeVar Ball?
I mean, listen, I don't think it was, like, appropriate. But at the same point in time, I didn't think it was like they're making a big deal about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it was, probably a little bit on the sexist side, but the average person probably wouldn't care. You know what I mean? Like, I looked at it and I didn't think it was anything that bad. I was like,
I think LeVar had bad intent. I don't think LeVar meant it that way. See, one thing, you can talk a lot of trash about LeVar Ball. LeVar Ball loves his wife. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That woman has been on her deathbed for the past couple of years, and all he talks about is her. You know what I'm saying? So say what you want to say about LeVar Ball. I don't see him, taking it that way or going something like that with the love and respect that he has for his wife. One thing, like I said, Ben, one thing you can say about LeVar Ball, he loves his wife, he loves his children.
Oh, he loves his family, without a doubt. I mean, and listen, here's the thing. People have to understand what LeVar Ball is doing.
Yeah.
LeVar Ball is trying to build a brand so that he can take care of money and his family and his kids and all that stuff. That's fine if people don't like him. There's going to be people who probably watch this show because they like us, and there's probably people who watch the show because they're some of our biggest haters.
Yep.
That's what you need in order to be successful in media. You need people on one side or the other. The more polarizing of a figure you are, the better. That's why you got some of these guys out there, the Skip Baylesses, the Stephen A. Smiths, that say some crazy shit sometimes because love them or hate them, you're replying, you're interacting with them, you're taking a side, and that only helps build up their brand. So if you're trying to build up a brand and be somebody who is, known in whatever industry it is you're trying to do, you're going to have people who love you and you're going to have people who hate you. But that's what you got to do. So, I mean, I'm not a huge LeVar Ball fan, but I don't knock what he's doing. I understand what he's doing and why he's doing it.
Yeah, I think LeVar Ball's a revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he's doing is great. The way he's taking on the basketball league he put together may have failed, but this man is taking on the college basketball system. This man is taking on the NBA. He's about his family. He's about his children. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he can be a bit out there with some of the things he says and stuff like that. But like Benny said, that's a part of the game. You know what I mean? So ESPN banning him, that ban's going to be short-lived because in about a year from now, LeVar Ball's youngest son, LaMelo Ball, will be a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. So what are you going to not talk to him at that point?
But even the banning of him, the quote-unquote banning of him on ESPN,
Don't work for him.
His brand. It's good for him. Yeah. It helps him build his brand even more. He's a guy that got banned on ESPN. You know, like that's again, when you think about it as like, oh, this guy's a jerk, yeah, you could say that. But at the same point in time, we're sitting here talking about it on this show. People were tweeting about it. There are opinion pieces about whether or not he should have been banned on ESPN. So you know what's happening? LeVar Ball's name is in the media. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. It's being talked about on podcasts and radio shows left and right. So really, he did his job. He got his name out there, built his brand. You know?
Yep, no doubt about it. LeVar Ball. So it's interesting story right there. But the fun never stops, and I do look for LaMelo to have a solid season. As long as LaMelo does what he's supposed to do in Australia, LaMelo will be a top 5 draft pick. I don't think LeVar will be talking him up to go to the Lakers, but LaMelo will be a top 5 draft pick, and Lamar will be loud and boisterous all the way. They're never going to get LiAngelo to the NBA, though.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't think the Lakers would ever draft another Ball anyway. So I think the feeling's kind of mutual between those two.
The Ball thing was more than likely a Magic Johnson thing. That probably wasn't from the Buss family. That was a Magic Johnson thing. You know what I'm saying? And all. It worked out. Listen, it was a part of the haul to help him get Anthony Davis, and I think Lonzo does have a good NBA future ahead of him. Lonzo Ball, he needs to stay healthy, but he is not a bad basketball player at all.
No, there are definitely things in his game that he needs to improve. Basically, his jump shooting from the outside, but he rebounds very well for a guy. You know who I think the best comp for him is Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
Because he rebounds really well for a guard. He's big. He can defend guys. He's a great passer, can run a team. He's just not a very good shooter, which is the thing.
And he plays good defense also.
Yeah.
His on-ball defense is very good too. So, yeah, Lonzo Ball solid. LaMelo Ball will be solid. LiAngelo will probably be the one that's left out. Benny, we go to the pitch today, and Team USA in the WWC, they're not minus 700 today.
And that's honestly why I love them. I mean, minus 275 on the U.S. women. Listen, the U.S. women are the favorite to win this tournament. So getting them at minus 275, you know, I'm willing to take them. Like you said, they're not minus 700.
Are you willing to put the 275 on them?
I'm not taking them by themselves. Like, I'm not betting 100 to win, like 30 or 40. But they're a team that I'm definitely using in a lot of parlays today.
Okay.
You parlay them with a team that's like minus 180 or minus 190, and you get even money.
Okay. What do we think about Canada and Sweden? You know anything about these two?
Yeah, they're both pretty good. They're both pretty good teams, so I don't really want to mess with this. Sweden, I think, is one of the teams that actually beat the U.S. A couple years ago in a friendly, and Canada is always pretty solid too. So I think this will be a good game. I'm not willing to take either side of it, though. I think either one of them can win.
What else we got going on in the pitch that interests you?
So we still have the Copa America going on, which is like basically the South American qualifying tournament. And we have the Gold Cup going on, which is kind of like the North and Central American qualifying tournament. So one of my favorite bets for the day, I mean, talking about parlaying.
I didn't know Bermuda had a soccer team.
Yeah, and they don't have much. Honestly, if you move to Bermuda right now and you got residency, you could probably play on the soccer team if you want.
Really? I've been to Bermuda like 4 times. I know people that live in Bermuda.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I've been there too.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that game, but the other game that I like on the other side, Costa Rica is pretty good.
They're playing Haiti.
Yeah, Costa Rica is the team that beat America, a couple years ago to knock us out of our chance to go to the World Cup. Costa Rica has a solid soccer team, and then Haiti, they're not really all that good. So Costa Rica minus 175 for the win. You could parlay Costa Rica and the U.S. woman, and you get a plus 113 on it. So that's one of the bets that I'm doing today.
I like that.
I honestly think both of them win easy.
That's not a bad bet right there. But
yeah, and then if you want something else that you can get a little bit of money on, Uruguay and Chile are both pretty good, but I like Uruguay a lot. I think Uruguay is a team that could win the entire Copa America down there. They have a lot of speed. They're very technically sound, and then they have 2 really good strikers at the end to kind of finish for them, and Luis Suarez and Edinson Cavani, two of the best in the world right there. So this is a team that has a chance to score a lot of goals because they got a lot of offensive firepower. Chile has a couple good players too. They got a lot of guys that play in the Premier League, a lot of guys that play in, La Liga and Serie A. So this should be a pretty good game, but I think Uruguay at plus 114, there's the value there.
All right, so there you go right there. Uruguay, the team to roll winning that one right there from the pitch. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I haven't really been doing much. Baseball is such a weird sport to bet on, even though I'm trying to break some down for you right now. One thing I do know and recognize, and I was seeing a lot of yesterday, the Philadelphia Phillies. They're not happy with their Bryce Harper investment right now. And I think things can start to get ugly in the city of brotherly love, Benny.
You know what? A lot of people have been saying from the beginning that, Bryce Harper may not be worth the money that was coming out there.
You can't top out at 23 years old, though.
Honestly, I mean, the kid came into the league at, 18 or 19 when he got drafted? And
he's in the ceiling already?
I think – remember when we talked about the NBA draft and we were talking about – I think it was R.J. Barrett where you're like, this is as good as he can get. Bryce Harper was so good at a young age, but – I mean, he really hasn't improved, like back then you used to have the argument who was going to be a better long-term player, Mike Trout or Bryce Harper. There's not a single person I know that would take Harper over. A single person who I know and trust their opinion that would take Harper over Trout right now.
You got a lot of – but now you got many other younger players that you're like, he's better than Harper, he's better than Harper, he's better than Harper. Let me tell you something. You continue to play like this, it's going to get ugly. Because one thing about the Philadelphia sports fan, everybody except Allen Iverson, they turned their back on. They turned on Charles Barkley. They turned on Randall Cunningham. They turned on Mike Schmidt. The Philadelphia sports fans will turn their back on you, and it will get ugly, Benny.
Listen, I mean, the guy's got $300 million, so he got what he wanted out of it. What you get with Bryce Harper that I don't think people understand is a guy who it's kind of like the Barry Bonds numbers, but to a lesser extent. A lot of teams pitch around him, so he's going to walk a lot, and he's going to hit home runs. But that's basically all he does. Like he's a good fielder, but remember, this is a guy who came up as a catcher throughout his career. It's not like he's been playing the outfield for 20 years. You put him in the outfield because you want to keep his bat in the lineup and you wanted to save his knees. But part of the allure of Bryce Harper coming up is that he was one of the best hitting catching prospects we've ever seen. But when you put him in the outfield, I'm not saying he's just another outfielder. He's still, in the top tier in the league, but he's not one of the 3 or 4 best players, in my opinion.
Now, Benny, when you turn around and you look at what's going on tonight they have a matchup against the Mets. The Mets, another shit show. The New York Mets, Callaway cursing people out last night. At some point, it's just not even like, even as a person who likes to make fun of Met fans, at some point, it's like, Jesus Christ, can y'all get it together? No run line, no total, but we do see the Phillies at minus 136, the Mets at plus 118. I don't touch games involving the New York Mets because they're the New York Mets, and there's probably some bad karma there.
Yeah, I mean, you got Steven Matz going up for the Mets side, right? So, he's always been tough on lefties. Righties are the ones that want to hit him. So you're looking at guys like Reese and Segura for DFS being guys that you could look at. But really, I don't love, the Phillies overall as a team are basically just middle of the road against left-handed pitching. So I don't really see them scoring a lot of runs. And then on the other side, you have Jake Arrieta, who's definitely down from, where he was at his career peak.
Zach Eflin.
Oh, they have Eflin out there? I have Arrieta down as the guy that,
FanDuel Sportsbook, that's why,
Yeah, I mean, it very well maybe. If it's Eflin, I'd actually like the Mets even more at plus 118. If it's Arrieta, I'm probably not touching it.
Run line just popped up. A total just popped up too. The total is 10.
I would expect a lot of runs. Matz and Arrieta are not good pitchers. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't really love either one of these offenses. And I don't really love either one of these pitchers. I think this game could go either way. This is the one that I have, no hard opinions on.
Toronto and the Yankees tonight down at the stadium. Yanks big favorite minus 250. Jays plus 215. CC on the mound for the Yanks. 10.5 is the total.
So when I'm breaking down games, I look at the pitchers, try to find their weaknesses, and then I look at the hitters going up against them. The Yankees lineup right now is absolutely ridiculous. So everybody's back. Everybody's healthy. I mean, you're talking Encarnacion, Andor, Voit, Judge, Stanton, Sanchez, Torres, Aaron Hicks, Didi Gregorius. There's just so much talent on this team. It's ridiculous. So the Yanks minus 250, they deserve to be minus 250 here. But I think the way I want to try to play this game, Corey, Aaron Sanchez's last 4 starts gave up 6 runs, 8 runs, 5 runs, and 4 runs. So looking at the Yankees over 5.5 team total feels like the safest thing here to bet on. So that's the way I'm looking to play this game.
I would agree with you. That's an excellent bet right there. That Yankees over that 5.5. You can also throw that in that soccer parlay too if you want to get down with that one right there, because that's a good look right there in my opinion. Oh, well, look at what we got in Boston tonight. Lucas Giolito. He comes in as a plus money dog again at 154. Is everybody going to be on Giolito again tonight going up against the Red Sox and Eduardo Rodriguez?
I'm not. Now, see, like the last time we talked about Giolito, he was going up against, I think it was like KC, or like it was an offense that wasn't all that great. Oh, it was the Cubs, right? It was the Cubs.
Oh, yeah, the east side was the south side versus the north side.
Yeah, and for the most part, I mean, really, if Wilson Contreras didn't play in that game, Giolito would have thrown a gem. He just gave up 5 runs on 2 home runs to Wilson Contreras. I'm not touching Giolito against the Red Sox, though. This is a good lineup. So even in DFS, you want to get a good pitcher against a crappy lineup. You don't want to take a good pitcher against a good lineup because that doesn't usually work out for you. The only thing I really like in this game, Corey, the White Sox have the 4th highest strikeout rate against left-handed pitching. And Eduardo Rodriguez has been pitching very good this year. 4 of his last 5 games especially. 21 DraftKings points and over a K per inning. They didn't have one on DraftKings when I was looking at this morning. Do they have a K prop for Eduardo Rodriguez? Because
I'm about to tell you right now, good fellow, because as soon as you started talking about them strikeouts, I knew.
I'll tell you right, before you even say the number, if it's 6 or higher, I'm in. If it's 6.5, I'm considering it.
Let me see. The K prop. Always hard to find the K prop. Is at least if it's there, it's not up there yet.
Yeah, they didn't have one up there yet. Basically, here's the thing: if it comes out at a 5.5, you want to hammer it. If it comes out at a 6.5, I would still take a little play on it today because I do think he's going to go 6 or 7 innings, and I do think he's going to end up like he has in most of his recent games with over a strikeout per inning, especially against a team that has the 4th highest strikeout rate against lefties. So the K prop for Eduardo Rodriguez when it comes out is something I'm going to be interested in today.
5.5, you say over. What if they get slick with us and put it at 6?
I'd still take it. It's the same. To me, it's basically the same thing because worst case scenario, you're pushing.
Yeah.
But you figure even if he struggles a little bit, he's going to get 6 innings. And lately he's been going a K per inning or better. So you put him in a good strikeout matchup. You give him 6 innings, 7 innings. He's going to get 6, 7, 8 Ks. So at 5.5, I like that a lot.
Not only are we breaking it down here, but don't forget the boys and their picks over at EliteSportsBetting.com. Hop in there right now. You can get a special discount. Don't forget my prize picks, Benny's plays coming up also. Promo code ELITE. We'll get into that in a few moments from now. The Royals and the Indians in, I'm about to say it to Jake. It's not called Jake anymore, Benny. He hasn't been called Jake in years. But you do have a baseball game in Cleveland between the Royals and the Indians. Cleveland is the favorite. The total is 10.
Yeah, minus 160 it's a little bit of a big number. First off,
at minus 174 on FanDuel is not even
worse. Yeah, that's even worse. Put it this way: both of these pitchers suck. Like they're both bad. Keller's a guy right now. He's more of a ground ball pitcher, so I'm not expecting a lot of home run upside there. But I mean, he's a guy with a 4.5 ERA, an xFIP that's over 5. He's always been tough on right-handed bats. Left-handed bats are always better against league average, so that's really the way you want to attack them. The thing I like, though, is like Cleveland's got a bunch of guys that profile well here, like Lindor, Santana, Jose Ramirez, all switch hitters, so they'll all be facing him from the left side. You know, the kid Oscar Mercado, who's hitting up there at the top of the order for them, has been very good. I like Cleveland to score a lot of runs and win this game. I don't know if I want to take 160 or 175, but I like them for over 5.5. And like I said, the kid who's pitching for them, Plutko, is not really all that good either. He's another guy with like a 5 ERA, 5 xFIP last year and this year in the 2 years he's been in the league. So really, I like the over a lot in this game. So you got 10 runs is what they had on DraftKings for the over. I like the over 10. I really like the over 5.5 for Cleveland. And I mean, again, if you want a team that wins, Cleveland at 160, 175, parlayed with the U.S. women's team gets you over, plus money on it. So something else you could look to do there as well.
There you go right there. In Chicago, we got an interesting situation. John Lester, Julio Teheran, the Braves plus money for the Braves, 116. Yeah, they're on the road versus the Cubs, but the Braves look like a contender.
I like the Braves a lot for plus money. I actually have a heart around Braves plus 112 because it's one of my favorite bets on the day. You're going to give me plus money on a team that has a whole bunch of guys that crush left-handed pitching.
Going against John Lester.
Yeah, John Lester, my ass. 5 years ago, I would have cared. Not anymore. You know? Like Acuna, Donaldson, Albies, all these guys are 140 WRC pluses or better, which is elite type numbers. Freeman, even though it's lefty on lefty, 140 WRC plus against lefties for him. Tyler Flowers, Camargo. There's 7 guys that I just named right there that are going to be in this order that have like a 130 or better WRC plus, which is basically if you're 100, you're league average. If you're a $110, you're good. If you're a $120, you're very good. If you're a $130 or better, you're elite. They got 7 guys that are elite against left-handed pitching. I love the Braves here. Giving me plus money on the Braves right here feels like a gift. So Braves plus 112, one of my favorite bets on the day.
Old school throwback matchup tonight in Arizona. Greinke and Kershaw, Dodgers and Diamondbacks. The Dodgers minus 138. You feel like you're not really going to get the Dodgers at minus 138 ever again this year. And to me, Benny, that might be the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, these are 2 really good pitchers. This is going to be like a 2-1 game or a 3-1 game or something. I mean, I'd lean the Dodgers side if I had to pick one. Mostly because the Dodgers offense to me is just so much better than Arizona's offense. I will say this, though, for the DFS crowd out there, don't start Kershaw tonight because Arizona against left-handed pitching has one of the lowest strikeout rates in the league at just 19%. So, they also have one of the worst WRC pluses at like 91. It's like in the bottom third. I don't think Arizona can score runs against Kershaw, but I don't think you're going to get a 30, 35-point Kershaw game here where there's upside for DFS. So, I like the Dodgers if I had to bet it. Honestly, my favorite bet here is probably the under 8 at minus 114.
Yeah, you can get that at that's minus 120 and the juice on that one right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Finally, the Rockies and the Giants, Pomerantz and Gray. About even right here, 104, 110. The total is sitting at 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, they have it at 8 over on DraftKings, the total. It's probably my favorite way to play this game, right? Because, like, John Gray's a decent pitcher. San Francisco's offense is not that good, so you don't expect a lot of runs on that side. And then when you take the Rockies out of Colorado, they're not as good. It's a big negative downgrade to go from arguably the best hitters park in the league in Colorado to arguably the worst hitters park in the league in San Francisco. And then the other thing is they're playing a lefty in Pomerantz. Now, when they play a lefty, there's 2 guys that normally stand out right away, and that's Story and Arenado, because both of them have always crushed left-handed pitching. Story's on the IL, so he's not playing today, and Arenado just came off injury. I think Arenado will be fine, but other than Arenado, there's not a lot of guys that scare me in this lineup. So to me, I think the best way to play this is the under, because I just don't see either one of these teams putting up a big run total.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree with you on that one. That's the way I would look at it, too. Right quick, let's head over to get some prize picks plays in for today. My guess is, Benny, you're on these Yankees today?
Yeah, I mean, there's basically 2-2x2s that I'm looking at, and you can put them together for a 4x4. We mentioned that Brad Keller kind of sucks, and I like the over in that Cleveland game. So I like Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez as 2 guys that can get over their number for today. And then I obviously like the over in the Yankee games, too. So you have, I think it was Gary Sanchez and Gleyber Torres, right?
Labor Day. Yep.
Yeah, so you get Gleyber and Gary Sanchez. You get Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez. Again, to go with the theme I've always been saying, the DFS research, the sports betting research.
All the same.
It's all the same. It all points to the same number. So if we like the over in the Yankees, we like the over in the Cleveland game. We should be liking the hitters in those 2 games for DFS. We should be liking the hitters in those 2 games for the props. Prize Picks being a prop site. You know, those are guys that I'm looking at today.
No doubt. Again, myprizepicks.com. Tell them Corey and Benny sent you the promo code ELITE, ELITE. That's prizepicks.com. And that's Benny's plays for the day. Benny, big piece of chicken before we get up out of here?
Yeah, I mean, my big piece of chicken is going to go to the New Orleans Pelicans organization because 4 months ago we were talking about this team as a laughing stock. They couldn't trade Anthony Davis. They did all that. They basically screwed over and fleeced.
He was moving him to Seattle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like it was a bad situation. Now they basically fleeced the Lakers and screwed them out of another $6 or $7 million in cap money. So they obviously are making some right moves here. They got rid of Anthony Davis. Now, again, they didn't get a superstar back, but they got a big haul of players that can help them win and win right now. You know, they got Zion Williamson. I thought the trade with the Hawks was a good one where they picked up a couple draft picks and wound up getting a couple guys there in the draft because they had, again, they had the number 4 overall pick and they just picked the guy who's going to be their small forward. The best players on the board were guys that kind of play that same position. So there really wasn't another good fit for them at that spot. So I'm giving it to the whole New Orleans Pelicans organization. I think they made a lot of good moves, to get themselves out of what a lot of people looked at as a pretty crappy situation.
I got a special big piece of chicken, Benny. Last night was the BET Awards. It's the only night of the year that I put my television on BET. That's how terrible the programming has gotten over there, right? Last night's Lifetime Achievement Award went to Mary J. Blige. And I think you'll forget how dope Mary J. really is. Like, Beyonce is the queen. I get it. But before Beyonce, it was a Mary J. Blige. She was like everybody's favorite homegirl. You know what I'm saying? So, Mary, out there at 40-plus years old, still trying to get it in, you get a big piece of chicken. And I hope you get a good nap today because I was tired just watching you, sis. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. For my main man, Benny, Corey Parson, the fantasy exec, the opening line, we are out.